Karen. For most Nairobi residents, this suburb evokes feelings of wealth and affluence. However, unbeknown to many people, Karen started out as a farmland. Named after Karen Blixen, a Danish author, her farm occupied the land where the suburb now stands. The farm, a coffee plantation, would later make way for Nairobi's growing population. Some residents, though, are turning back the hands of time. One of these is Andrew Thegea, the founder of Andy's Farm.
I started farming through a conversation I had with some of my friends. We were three. If I'm to name them, there's Fed, Moems, and Moha. Very culturally diverse people, but we got together and we had seen a few agricultural projects going on, and we wanted to get into it. We had land available to us, not so much, but it was free, and we decided why not.
According to various statistics, Kenya's agriculture sector employs more than 75% of the country's workforce. It also accounts both directly and indirectly for approximately 51% of Kenya's GDP.
Okay, we had done our homework really well. So, I mean, they were quite confident in us. There was no one who told us, no, don't enter into that. Yoni kazi ya watu wengine. No, everyone was very supportive. And then we raised our own funds. I think that was a really big encouragement on their end, because they're like, okay, these are young guys. They have not asked us for any funds, and the land is available. So I mean, we just took that initiative, and I think they really respected that, and they said, yeah, go ahead. We had all the blessings.
With more than 40,000 Kenya shillings as startup capital, Andy's Farm came into being in early 2014. The aspiring farmers would start with a quarter-acre piece of land and would initially cultivate their produce in the open field.
We cleared the land. That actually took most of the capital, because the land was, let's say, forest, bush, quite bush-like. So once we cleared the land, we just laid the infrastructure in terms of making the beds, getting your mbolea. Yeah. Another point I'd like to add is that we had, luckily for us, we had water. So water was not a problem for us. So I mean, we cleared the land, made the beds, got someone to install for us the drip pipe system, which is very key, such that we don't have to rely on rainfall alone. And from there, we were good to go. We bought the seeds, planted, and yeah, working closely with actually a lot of people from the showground as well. They gave us a lot of advice.
Starting off, the quartet would plant low-value crops like kunde and managu, as these take a shorter time to mature. Nevertheless, once the crop was mature, they had to take the produce to the market. They would come up with an ingenious method of marketing their produce.
Naturally, we were very apprehensive. We had never ventured into this kind of business before. And luckily, we were four of us, as I mentioned a bit earlier, starting off this whole venture. And we all had our strengths. So I would say, for example, I'm going to take this area and I'm going to go to all the grocery stores and ask them, mtachukua kunde ama managu. This other guy would handle another area, and like that. And yes, there are people who were not interested, but most of them were like, ukona sample. Once you have a sample, that's what they always tell you. So never be afraid to like venture out. Just go with your sample, and if your product is good and it's right, trust me, you will get a client. And that's how we started, pole too. Then from there, referrals, quite a number of referrals, and that's how you just keep on growing.
Like most entrepreneurs, Andrew would face the dual challenges of pricing in the market and funding for expansion. These, though, were not the only impediments, as Andrew soon found out.
Some of the challenges we had included getting enough clients, because we had a lot of produce, right? But you've only started with one or two, and you're saying, okay, fine, we have too much crop, not enough clients. So that was number one, which led us now to get more clients. But now once we got more clients, we had too little crop, because now we spread ourselves, actually forced us now to be scheduling. Like, okay, fine, these clients will take X amount of produce over X amount of time, so let's cater for them. That's one challenge. Challenge number two was just general weather conditions and pests. Yes, we were using drip pipes, but you tend to see, for example, more pests will come to your farm depending on the temperature. So you have those pests will come when it's super hot. We have those pests that will come when it's quite cold. Yeah. So we have the actual problem or challenges with the product itself, which every farmer faces.
Andrew is an international business administration graduate from the United States International University, Africa. He has previously worked at Cellulant in various capacities. By the time he was leaving the company, the 28-year-old was working in the strategy department.
For me, I'd say it was more fulfilling. I'm doing what I love doing, making my own rules, better management of my time. As I said earlier, I do quite a number of things. I'm passionate about drumming, so that gives me time to do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. I am my own boss, yeah, and that was a key factor in that, as well as financial freedom. You know, we're young guys, we really want to be financially independent, and that was also a driving force.
According to a March 2013 World Bank report, African agribusiness would be worth $1 trillion by 2030. Currently worth about $313 billion, the sector already provides jobs for 70% of the poorest people on the continent.
Let me start by saying they didn't leave the venture because agribusiness is not a good field. Everyone had their own other passions to follow. We're all very young when we're starting this, so agribusiness is still very much inculcated in them, just that we're not doing it together. But we meet regularly and we keep on talking about it. And what made me stay? We made some profits here. Who doesn't want to be in a successful, profitable venture? Yeah. Plus, we're creating employment. There's just so much happening here.
In order to improve his business acumen, Andrew recently signed up for the Blaze mentorship program. Blaze enables young people to get access to mentors who have made it in different spheres of life through mentorship summits.
I'm aiming to grow my network via this Blaze campaign. I'm hoping to meet other stakeholders and participants in the agribusiness ecosystem who I can definitely learn from. And I'm definitely hoping to pass the knowledge I have gained over the years to others. Yeah, to my fellow peers, to those coming after me, to those ahead. We can all learn something from each other, and I think the Blaze platform is perfect for that.
Since its establishment, Andy has invested more than 1 million Kenya shillings in the agribusiness firm.
There are definitely days when I feel like giving up, but at the end of it, I look back and I'm like, why did I start this venture? If you gave up, then you won't be successful. Quitters, you just, And another thing is people look for quick success. So if you quit in the first year, you'd really never know what your full potential could have been. And that's what motivates me.
Andy's farm produce can be found at City Market and select stores around the Karen area. Andrew also delivers to individuals upon request. The farm has employed 1 permanent and 1 semi-permanent employee. However, for labor-intensive activities, more farm hands are employed.
I plan on making it a model farm, such that anyone can come in and learn as much as they want. So there won't be one crop, there will be plenty. It can be a one-stop shop for just learning everything agribusiness. Yeah, and seeing as it's based in Nairobi, there's a lot of now, there's opportunity for a lot of Nairobi or young city people to just come and learn as much as they can and see that, hey, this is actually something that I can venture into, Most guys have land in Ushago, but they just don't have that time to keep on going back and forth from, let's say, the city into those sides. So if they can actually come and see it practically and see how it works, then they'd have a very good idea of how to implement it.
So, what words of advice does Andrew Thegea have for would-be entrepreneurs?
First of all, when you're entering into business, you're trying to solve a problem. Yeah? You're trying to solve a problem. So identify what problem it is you're trying to solve in society. And then number two, always know why you started, because that's what's going to give you the motivation to push and push and push.